Okay. And I will screen share to set the stage. There we are. Session 30.
30,
Well,
30.
not counting session 0, right? I guess it's 31 technical sessions, 30 numbered sessions.
Yeah.
I
And
think
we
it's
also
probably
had a two-parter, right?
the two-parter.
We had a two-parter session.
Yeah.
We had a
That's
session
right.
like
That's right.
22A or something.
I feel like this is like the third season, right? There've definitely been some phases of play here.
Yeah.
Reuna has been reclaimed. The Corkine have been kicked out. Elmeri has been banished to the Motherwood. Who knows what's going to happen to him? I mean, I know what's happened to him. Paiviki has demonstrated the ability to heal by repairing Yarko the Constable's kind of permanently injured arm. And Yarko is back in, I don't know about fighting shape, but he's back in action. That's a very it's a very dramatic moment, I have to say. I went back and watched it just to like refresh my memory, and that was really, Sean, you were really pulling out the stops on that Yarko performance. It's a new day in the village, and I think you had the last kind of plan that had been made was to once every, I think you actually spent some time. You made some longbows, right? Both Muirin and Taimi made longbows. And there has been talk of venturing to the north to see what lies out in that region. So it is a summer day. Let's call it a summer morning. Here we are in it's midsummer. And in this part of the world, in midsummer, it's like green meadows, full of flowers, tons of wildlife of all kinds. It's a pretty idyllic, now that the Corkine have been ousted, it's a pretty idyllic kind of rural situation. The whole village is, there's like a completely different energy in the village now. People go about their days smiling and singing and whistling, and it's a very happy time in your hometown. So let's pick up with that conversation about the plans for what's next. And I think I'm going to say, I guess I'll ask Donna, where do you think the conversation this morning happens between the three of you? What would be a good location for that?
I think we are probably near the old tree.
Okay.
Sort of, yeah. Overlooking, being able to like overlook the different directions and paths.
Okay, so like up on the hillside near the old tree.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, so there's like a rock up there that somebody can sit on, and there's some down below you near the old tree. There's some kids playing, and it is the three of you. Muirin, the elf, Taimi, the hunter, and Paiviki, the who knows what. Paiviki, the bold, the edge accuser.
Yeah, do you consider yourself a wizard or sorcerer or magician? Like, how do you identify?
That's a good question.
A weaver?
Yeah, maybe maybe a weaver. Uh, what is it? Weaver of force.
World Weaver.
World weaver. I remember Locke took what had the title of forever. What is it?
Always learning.
Always learning.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, she's not wise, but
So there you guys are on the hillside. And what are you talking about? I think you sort of already kind of made this kind of plan to head north. Are there
Yeah.
any other business that needs to be attended to? Does anybody have anything they want to
Yeah.
discuss?
I mean, I know that we've been enjoying our time here, but after what we saw out there in the world, the amazing challenges that we all face together, I just don't know if I could be happy here. At least not while I still have strength in my legs to stride this land. I know we've talked about it before, but I really think it's time. You know, we haven't heard anything of the Colkeen or that, that rat Elmeri. I think that we did it. I think we did what we came back to do.
Mirren is in agreement, and she'll say join in and say that she's excited about the idea of traveling to different places, and not that Raina is boring, but that it's the idea of something unknown is exciting to her.
I think that Paiviki has like a book in her lap that she's been reading, and she looks up and she's like, oh yeah, that would be exciting, wouldn't it? She goes back to reading her book, like, yeah. Do you guys want to go?
Taimi chuckled. She smiles. You're quite popular, Paiviki. If you say that you're leaving, many might follow. Do we take anyone with us?
Oh,
I of course think that Annika must feel the same way as I. She's always had a similar bout of wanderlust in her. But Topias? What's her face? You promised to teach her magic?
Varpu.
Varpu?
oh, Warpu.
Oh yeah. Right. So at that
Should we-
moment, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, so should we ask them? But yeah.
Or should we sneak out of town when they're not looking?
Well, Tinny comes out of her house, and are you guys seeing the NPC portraits right now?
No.
Okay, usually when I switch in the sometimes it switches even though I've got two different windows up, so no problem. How about now?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tinny comes out of her house and sees you guys sitting up there on the hillside, and kind of pauses to talk to the kids that are by the tree, and then makes her way up the hillside. She's pretty short, So she's kind of like, you can kind of picture this small woman kind of making her way up towards you, and says, I see that you're making plans to leave again. Is that right?
Um, Taimi nods and tenses her shoulders, perhaps anticipating a firm talking to.
Paiviki says, the lands to the north, we're curious about for more than one reason, partly because we don't know where the Korkeen are. And we wanted to see if they were there, or if not, what else was in that neighborhood and who might live there that would be friends to Rayuna.
It would be good to do this. The times of our people keeping to themselves are perhaps behind us, as you have opened up pathways to the wider world. Paiviki, I must tell you that people are talking about what happened to Yarko, and I'm concerned that many more will come to you for this kind of aid that you have lent, this these repairs. Do you know what you're doing?
Oh, that's a fair question, Teeny. But why not help people if they are in need? I have learned how to do it. I figured it out. Thanks to you. You're the one who taught me how to read in the first place. Now look at me. And she's got like a stack of books.
Oh, my daughter, your heart is as broad as your shoulders. I know that you would help anyone who asked. But now that people know, many people may ask. And tampering with the forces that you have begun to work with brings with it risks. I feel that so far you have been adept and successful in working with these forces, but there may come a day when you try to help someone and it will not turn out well. I'm worried that many people will hear of you and come to be healed.
This is true. And she's thinking about the time when Taimi got flipped upside down and was spinning on her head.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, that stupid magic stone.
But besides that, she's been fairly lucky. But what is the risk? Either you go through life with a missing or injured arm, or you take a risk and
You must make this decision for yourself. I just sometimes you see only what is in front of you, and I just wanted to let you know that as you make a name for yourself, the ripples will go further than what lies within your sight, and the ripples may return.
True.
It is perhaps good that you will leave again soon before that happens.
Maybe we should build a wizard's tower, and I can live at the top, and Taimi and Mirren can guard the woods at the bottom, and anybody who comes near would have to get past both of them before they can see Paiviki, the great healer. I'm sorry.
Is Paiviki laughing?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just a bad joke. But really, maybe it is a good time to get out of town.
Yeah, all the more reason for us to leave. You know, I'm not going to pretend that I understand what you can do, Paiviki, but I'm sure that there's some people that would want to misuse that power, force you to heal those who don't deserve it.
Even deciding who does and does not deserve it would be a challenge.
You all think too much.
Tinny sighs and she says, "My love and the love of the tree and the motherwood goes with you wherever you may travel. It may be best to slip away unnoticed unless there is business that you need to attend to."
I mean, I think slipping away is okay, but I think that, I don't think that we should like hide what we're doing. I don't like the idea of having people think that we're dead again.
Right.
I can tell them where you've gone, or I can tell them as much or as little as you wish.
It might be safest just to say that we've left to seek allies and treasure and resources to strengthen this new strong collection of people that we've formed with Ladevisi.
I hope we will be able to hold on to the old ways as this world changes around us.
How are the Corkine immigrants faring? I can't remember exactly. Oh, 2 Corkine and 2 Grasslanders came to live in town.
So far, because the 3 of you gave your blessing, everyone here has welcomed them, if somewhat cautiously, and they are finding their place. It will take some time, I'm sure, but we need to get used to befriending those who are different than us.
How is the this is not a question for Tinny, because I think Taimi would know just from like looking around. Has the mining effort started?
No, it's only been, well, wait, how many weeks has it been?
3, 4.
Yeah, if it's been that long, I guess.
Yeah.
I think on the far side of the hill, the people, those 4 who had some knowledge of that have been kind of overseeing the beginning of prospecting, basically, for the place where the kind of the largest deposit might be. So on the north side of the hill, sort of away from the village, is where they're starting to do that. Yeah. So Tinny bids you farewell and wishes you good fortune on your journey.
Can I assume that we can take like a full contingent of rations?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, as much as you can carry.
Oh, also we're probably going to take the cart, so we should probably. We've gotten rid of everything. We should probably bring some extra rations for the cart. Yeah, we have a ton of space in the cart too.
Yeah, so you can bring whatever supplies, whatever you want to. The everybody will provide you with whatever you need. I guess if they're going to do that, it's going to be a little bit of a supply preparation, which would draw a lot of attention to your leaving town. So that would be fine. But everybody would be pretty clear that you'd be leaving town, and then everybody would want to like be part of the farewell party and all that.
I don't know.
There's also, if we take the cart, we won't be able to maybe go up. I think, wasn't there like a mountain?
It's a pretty hilly. Watchers climb it like it sounds is a pretty hilly territory. So you could, and there's like a small stream to cross that you could probably get the cart across no problem. It may be a situation where you could get the cart a certain way and then have to kind of like leave it or use it as a base camp as you set out to explore and then return to it. That would be one option, I guess.
What about Itzy, the beast? Is Itzy obviously wouldn't have nearly the same capacity as the cart, but does Itzy have carrying capacity and the ability to traverse more difficult terrain than a cart?
Yeah, you could turn Itzy into a pack animal for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could load her up with. Let me do a quick check on potential capacity there. Rig up some kind of some big backpacks for that. So a donkey or a mule has a capacity of 12. I'm going to say Itzy has got at least double that.
Oh, well, then 24 is
20.
huge.
How much does the cart carry?
The cart carries 32.
Yeah, okay, well then let's cut it down a little bit. I'll say 18. Let's say 18.
Okay.
All right. And Topias can probably carry about 18.
What, just burden him with like encumberment penalties?
Yeah.
Are you guys taking Topias with you?
I don't
Yeah.
know. What do you guys think?
The old team back together again?
I have no problem with Topias. I respect Topias. Topias is like pretty high in Taimi's estimation. And of course, I'm very fond of Annika. So those two are a solid yes for Taimi.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that after all they've been through, they count as well, I'm just giving them a few more hit points because they count as veterans now.
I was going to ask what that process is like, NPC advancement.
Yeah, there's no tracking of all their individual. They have some traits, and they have the way that you there's like a calculation for basic hit points for like weak, civilized, wild, hardy, veteran, leader kind of thing, and there's a base hit points depending on the kind of creature you are. So they had 6, and now they have 9 each.
They're freaking rolling in it, dude.
What do you think? What do you think, Mirren, about these entourage?
Oh, I would be more than happy to have them, and she likes people to make their decision, or she trusts people to make the right decision for themselves. And
so if they want to come.
Mm-hmm. Annika's got a very good crossbow action.
And she's got chainmail. I guess they both could have chainmail if you want them to have chainmail.
Seems to make sense that Topias should actually have armor if we have it.
Okay, you definitely have it.
Did you heal his leg or anything, or is that, I forget.
I healed his arm that had gotten badly hacked in the cave.
Mm.
We
Cool.
remember we rested in Saltwall, and for his leg to heal, but I didn't do any magic on his leg.
Yeah, he's been beaten up a little bit, but he's he's functional now.
Right, so he can travel, he can fight, he can, yeah.
Yeah, so we should proposition these guys and see how they're feeling about joining into a exploration party once again.
Do you want to call them both to the Council of Three or see them individually? How do you want to handle that?
Should we ask them? Come chat?
Sure, you can send off one of the village kids to bring them. Yeah. So they both, or you've already done that, let's say, and they both show up. Annika, Taimi, you immediately see that Annika is looking kind of sort of not meeting your gaze, and it's kind of like really kind of bleary, and you know that she's prone to partying, so she was probably up. I don't know if you guys were together last night or not, but she was up drinking, and she doesn't seem as excited as you expect her to be. Before you even proposed, this is just when she walks over the hill towards you guys. That's what you see about her.
Yeah. Is this something that is just like a today thing, or is this something over the course of the month that I've maybe noticed, like maybe a slight cooling?
No, I think the time you've been here, actually, you guys have had a really good time. Like, and she's been happy, and like, in the wake of the victory over the hand, like it was just like everybody was just super happy and having a great time. And this is kind of a change even from like yesterday morning. This seems like brand new.
I guess I kind of like, I kind of like furrow my eyebrows a little, and I kind of give a
my father, he says I can't go with you.
What?
He says I've been gone too long, and with my mother, with him on his own, and Sinika, he doesn't want me to leave again. He wants his family here. He didn't know if, like everyone else, he didn't know if we were coming back or not. And he's very, against the idea that I should leave again.
He would have you just stay at home and work. And
I usually help him with the trapping, and he's getting on, and he has the fever, and he can't always and she's referring to there's this thing called forest fever, which sometimes people who spend a lot of time in the motherwood come back with. He's not as able as he used to be, and Sinika has her work to do. So he's demanding that I stay and help.
I don't know what to say, Annika. this is your life to live, your journey. Your father is the one that's now reaping the benefits of the journey that you took with us. It was not the heroes of Rayuna alone that brought that drove the Korkeen out, that banished them from these lands. It was the two of you as well. Can't he see that?
Well, he's proud, but I think he's just, it must make him sad, but it makes me angry. Maybe you could talk to him.
Taimi like immediately like clams up and tenses her fists. I'm afraid that I would lose my temper, and I would say things that would put us both in a worse estimation in his mind. You know how I am about fathers.
Well, he won't listen to me, so it's either somebody convinces him, or I leave without his blessing, and there's bad blood. I mean, I'll do that. I can't stay here anymore. I feel the way you do. I need to be out there. I need to see what else lies in the world.
I look to Muirin and Paiviki.
What about our new villagers who are needing a job to do in town? Could one of them be his apprentice trapper and help him?
I don't think it's really the work that's really the problem.
Oh.
I mean, yes, I think they could, and I think really the problem is that it's me. I think the work is just an excuse that he's making because he can't say what he really wants. I did not realize that until you just raised that question, but now I realize
that. I grasp Annika's hands. Annika, what we've shared together, I can't describe. I don't have the words. But maybe you should stay with your father. If my father had expressed the love and commitment that yours is showing, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't be so angry.
I will think on it.
Tiny turns.
Oh no! Oh my gosh!
Tiny turns before a silver glistening tear crosses her cheek.
Topias coughs nervously. So what's the plan? I can't wait to get back out there either. When do we leave?
Maybe we should draw. Mirren, can you show us and like draw like a little path in the sand around the tree?
I guess it would go. What's this? East and then north to go up and see what we find.
What is the name of that mountain again?
Oh, the mountain in the distance?
Yeah, isn't there a mountain in the north?
There is. Here it is.
Oh.
Oh. Hello, Erebor.
I don't want to go there. There's got to be something there.
This is looking basically north from the sort of those hills, kind of further north from Rayuna. The mountain is called Mount Tarkailia, and the whole region. So yeah, there it is in the distance. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe in the history of Rayuna, one or two folks may have made that trip, but going out into Watcher's Climb, there wasn't, there's plenty of hunting and stuff to find nearby. So there's never, it's only, the only reason you would travel that far is if you had the wanderlust, if you had some desire to go out and see the world, and which you guys clearly have. But this is sort of a bigger idea of what it looks like. You all have some sense of this landscape. And you'd be starting off from down there in Rayuna to the south. And I think that Taimi had mentioned wanting to just kind of like see what's there, right? So it would be kind of like a exploration mission. It's not like going from point A to point B, although you could certainly set the mountain as your destination to start, or however you want to tackle it. So you would be deciding, so maybe Muirin like draws the two rivers and then the mountain, and says that this is, we know, this kind of wooded, hilly area between the two rivers is called Watcher's Climb. And it's common knowledge in the village that it's called that because of the Watchers, which are this kind of species of mountain crab that they're sort of dark-shelled mountain crabs that dwell in the freshwater streams, up in these rocky freshwater streams. And there's these big rivers to the east and west here, but then within the hills themselves, there's various little waterways, and they're populated by the most notable creature in this area are these things called the Watchers, which and they're called that because they're prone to sort of standing on on rocks and whatever, and just kind of like silently observing passersby. They have been known to attack people. They're not small. They're pretty big crabs. And they have one of their arms is much longer than the other. Those are the salient features about them. So that's common knowledge. Beyond that, it's like, there's good hunting to be had. It's the only kind of legends or stories about the mountain are that you have heard, or it's been said that there are people who worship the mountain as a god. That's like just, a rumor that you've heard over the years. Oh, and that cloudberry, which is an edible berry, grows in great numbers here. So in terms of like foraging for rations between the wildlife and other stuff, Taimi knows that you'll have no problem surviving in this region. Plenty of fresh water, lots of food. Yeah, so Muirin's drawing in the dust doesn't quite look like this, but
But did you say that people eat the crab, or what is the crabs?
People do. The crab is edible. The Watchers. People also call the mountain the Watcher, right? It's actually both these things. The crabs themselves are about the size of like the body of the crab would be the size of like a small dog, basically. And yes, people do eat them, but often it's not worth the trouble because they're dangerous.
Okay.
There's other easily hunted wildlife around, like red deer are very common, and yeah, so it's good eating, like it's delicious, sweet. Maybe it's not as good as funnel crab or whatever, funnel lobster or whatever it was that you guys found in the woods to the south.
Oh yeah.
But people don't often, it's a very rare thing to eat because getting it from these things, they have this exoskeleton and there's just plenty of other stuff that could be hunted instead. But it is particularly delicious.
And they're considered like beasts, not like people. Like
Yeah, they do not appear to be right. Yes, they're considered wild beasts.
How does this fit into the other map that we were talking about heading, I think, around the mountain? And I was wondering, I guess we don't know much about the world. There's a lot of gray clouds around. Can't really see much.
So this is that whole area, and
Okay.
the mountain is like there.
I thought, yeah, go ahead.
This is where the ambush happened.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Oh, didn't you say that we knew something of some towns along the coast?
Oh yeah. Those towns. There's a town. So the coast is somewhere up here.
We don't know how far.
Don't know how far.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever comes down to Reunion from there because it's just open wilderness, right? Hukunit is here, and then, as you know, that connects over to the capital.
Yeah.
And then from there,
the coast.
What's that?
I didn't know the capital was so close to the coast.
The capital is a port city.
Oh,
actually.
wow.
So the coast actually comes down to there. And then from the capital and this is the grassland area over here. And then there's like, maybe you've heard of a couple settlements that are actually on the coast. And then there's one somewhere maybe in this area called Poijoinen. And anybody that you would have met from there would have traveled to Hukunit and then to you guys.
Wow. For some reason, I thought that Sakagara was in between us and the capital.
No, it's a little to the. Can you see it there? It's a little.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see Sakagara.
I'm wondering, not to screw with Jason's planning, but
no, whatever you want to do is fine.
I'm wondering if Hukunut might be an interesting destination too, and then to go north from there, if there is a road. But I am also curious what's in our neighborhood.
So, yeah, I think I'm pretty curious about this Watchers.
Yeah.
That area of wilderness. Especially it being so close. If it'd be good. I think it'd be useful information to get an estimation of what these crabs were capable of. Like if they ran down the mountain one day, like I don't know, would that be
There's
terrible?
gonna be a crab invasion in the future. Be
crab invasion.
Yeah, we could go that way, and then we could, if we make it to Poijoinen, we could always go home through Hukunit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Muirin, regarding Hukunut versus the Watcher?
Muirin is also interested in seeing like the wilderness type of animals. So I think she would suggest following the river to the area. Although I guess if we're going to Hukunit, you can sort of hit all of it, like after.
Why don't we go up to the mountain, since we all have some curiosity that way, and then we can plan to keep going unless something tells us that we can't. We can always come back to Rayuna if we need to.
So that rough plan suggestion is go to the mountain,
Mhm.
go over to Poi Joinen if you can find it, and then
Yeah.
maybe down to Hakuna and back.
Yeah, or who knows what happens. Like we ended up in, yeah, we'll see what happens. We're adventuring.
Yeah, exactly. Last time we went south, we ended up in Sakagara.
Yeah, right.
That's right. That's right.
It's true.
But do we want to take the overland route, or do we want to go along the river up to the mountain? Just
I think that if we I think metagame John thinks that we should take the overland route. I think obviously the safest route would probably be to follow the river. We'd have access to a lot of fish and resources. But I think that we're bound to find more stuff if we go straight through. Watchers climb. That's it.
all right. It's fine with me.
Hmm.
But maybe we should try to figure out some sort of bags for
the pack animal.
yeah, I'm
Right.
trying to remember her name. I don't have it in my, I was going to
Itzy.
call her Teeny. What?
Itzy.
Itzy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've made a new modified spreadsheet that has now both the cart and a solo Itsy so that we can move items back and forth.
Nice.
Oh,
There she is.
Oh, I want to see. Oh, that's so cute. I actually thought her to be more, or them, I don't know, to be more reptilian.
Mm-mm.
I was envisioning like kind of a miniature dewback.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, no, she has some fur, some stiff fur there.
Looks kind of like a possum donkey.
Yeah, so you
She's
can.
very
Yeah,
cute.
so great. John's got the sheet set up. So any particular supplies you want to bring along, you can pack in there. Topias is happy to start to pull together the material needed for these the packs that are going to be tied to Itzy's back.
So what do we want to take? There's can I share my screen?
Yeah, if I give you
Oh, you disabled it.
I didn't specifically. I make you co-host, and now you should be able to do it now.
Oh, pow. All right, can you see the cart?
Yeah.
Okay, so here is the cart, and then here is just Itsy, and they have different like weight whatevers on them.
Oh, awesome.
I guess maybe the question is, what do we not take, right?
I guess you might as well take.
Because we have 18 weight right now, but we definitely want to slim down. Like, do we need, there's some of the zero stuff like the ladle. I mean, we can bring the zero stuff, the copper ladle, the knife, the fine shirt and clothes if we want to. But I am not, actually, we should probably bring a crossbow and like one thing of bolts, at least.
Like a spare crossbow?
Yeah. What do people think about that?
Yeah.
definitely.
I think Paviki keeps on feeling more and more that she doesn't need a crossbow because she's always busy with magic, and it's just another thing trying to imagine carrying around this mechanical thing on her back while trying to fight and cast magic just seems
Sure.
too much. She's even wondering about whether she needs to carry weapons or she just wants to have her hands free. But I guess it wouldn't be bad to keep a shield and a spear.
unarmed combat is your
Yeah, and
preferred-
she's got a sword too. So
yeah. Yeah, so make some decisions about what your character themselves is gonna lug,
okay.
and then what you want to put in the tie to Itzy's back there. Looks like you got a lot of adventuring gear that's taking up weight, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of adventuring gear. We have like, yeah, how much is that? 9 uses. I think we could bring like 2 of these and get away with it. I don't think we need all 4 of them. Does that sound cool to people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys remember what happened to that cloak that like had fire?
The
powers?
sun cloak?
You have it.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have it, right?
You wore it, so you probably still have it.
But was I wearing it? I think I took it off.
You kind of wrapped it around your. Oh yeah, no, I mean just for it seemed like just for that experiment, you kind of wrapped it around yourself, and then I assumed that you just kind of afterwards unwrapped it and did something with it, tucked it away somewhere.
Okay.
But that
Maybe
should
I
totally
did
be
put it
in your
in a bag.
inventory. You should totally have that in Mirren's inventory.
Okay.
Paiviki, do you want to bring your handsaw?
I mean, it might be useful. I had a hatchet and a handsaw originally. Each of those have a weight of 1. It might be good in terms of if we decide there's something we need to build, but it's not maybe essential if we're running out of space.
No, we're not running out of space. We currently have 8 out of 18.
Yeah, I mean, I think
If we stay around like 10 to 12 and have, that wiggle room to get more rations or treasure, I think we'll be good. Like, I'm not going to bring the animal snare or the fishing net because by all reports, the foraging is very, very good. And so I should be able to do it without like the extra help.
maybe just a hatchet would be good. I have a hatchet you could throw in there.
Tobias's hatchet?
That's an interesting question. What is Topias going to be armed with?
So right now I have him with chainmail, crossbow, shield, and short sword.
He can't. I mean, he has only 4 capacity. He can't carry all that stuff.
Topias?
Shield 1, crossbow 1, chainmail 2. I guess then he can't carry anything else. He can't have any rations.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would say no to the chainmail,
Okay.
yes to shield, hatchet, and crossbow.
I think Taimi's the quartermaster for sure, so you can totally make the call about equipment and who's got what gear.
I mean, I would feel safer with him with his fewer hit points than us having him have chainmail.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like a good fighter too.
Okay, I would say get rid of the shield then.
Okay.
We can bring it along for sure.
Okay, put the shield on Itzy's back there. What's Anika's capacity?
Also 6.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She was a little tougher.
We don't need to keep on sharing the screen. Is there anything else here in the cart that you want me to move over?
Can I give you my crossbow and bolts to put in that cart then?
To just store it away for later, or do you want to like bring
Yeah,
it?
to store. Because I think that if I have my longbow, I probably don't need a crossbow too.
Yeah, I think we should have 1 crossbow in storage, but I think we can leave another one here.
Okay, so I have a crossbow that I'll give to you, and then 2 things of bolts.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Should we bring the fishing net?
I was thinking that since apparently the game is really plentiful and the foraging is really good, maybe we could just save the space and just hope that we can do it. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Thank you. And so I will be carrying that sun shawl.
I was wondering, Paiviki's been wanting to test the sun shawl and try to understand what it does.
Okay.
Yeah, do you want to take it?
Can I mess around with it?
Of course. I
For
was thinking
couple
Paiviki
hours.
might want to experiment.
Yeah, she's just super curious about what it was made for and what its capabilities are. And I was thinking about her the weave of force, and I was thinking like this thing is a weave of force, just in a different meaning because it's got all this forces woven into it. And so she's very curious about how you would actually weave elements into a garment that you could wear.
Please. I'll give it to Paiviki for her keeping.
Yeah, so Tapias and Taimi are working on getting the pack animal all set up. Paiviki, you're kind of trying to figure that out. Mirren, is there anything that you want to do in preparation for departure?
She's able to I think she has the things that she was interested in from the last session. So although I guess we did decide that we each had some like special longbow arrows. Is that right?
Yeah, they're just not iron tipped.
Oh, okay.
So you lose the piercing. Normally a longbow shot has 1 point of piercing. But because you guys don't have iron tips, they don't get that benefit.
Do I have to mark that as part of my gear that I have arrows with wooden tip? Right.
We can just remember that, I think. We'll just
Okay.
remember, yeah, anytime you shoot somebody, we'll just say, oh, you don't get the piercing, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. And then the arrows themselves aren't a thing that I have to be carrying, or are they?
The bolts, oh no, sorry, arrows, yes, it would be a quiver of 3 ammo.
Yeah.
Which
Non-piercing. Okay. Similar to what Taimi is carrying.
Yeah, it's just like exactly. It's just like a a quiver of bolts, same weight and everything.
Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste
that. Yeah, so anything. Yeah, I've got the shield. I've got extra bundle of bolts. 2 full adventuring gears, the copper ladle, the knife, the fine shirt and clothes. It's 0 weight. Why not bring it along?
Oh, the copper ladle is like your mascot at this point.
It's bent. And that's it. I mean, that leaves a lot of room for bringing stuff along, which I think is great. I guess the only other thing is, how much do torches weigh, Jason?
Bundle of 3 weighs 1.
Okay. I would say, yeah, I would bring some torches.
Oh, for sure. Cool. And then I got throwing knives at some point at the last session. Does that mean I only have 1, or
We can give
if
you
I got
3.
it?
Let's say it's 3.
Okay, 3. They're hidden in my belt.
Here's some arrows that I made with Nico recently.
What?
Oh, cool.
I just lashed the tip so that they wouldn't split when they hit stuff. They work pretty well.
Are you?
This
You
has
have
got a
the
nice
bow?
wiggle in it.
Did you shoot that out of a bow you made, or do you guys have a?
Yeah, we just made a little bow out of a cedar branch
Nice.
for Nico. I kind of shoot it like this so I don't break it.
How'd you fletch it? Yeah, what are those? Those feathers from?
I just wrapped it with it's like a Dacron, a plastic string.
Oh, nice.
That's a little bit waxed, so it's sticky. And this one's got a fancy plastic knock, but these ones, I just
cut a little notch.
Cut a little notch in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the feathers are just paper? Is that what the
No,
feathers
they're
are?
actual feathers.
Oh, they are.
But they're ones that you buy from an archery supply place.
Ah, got it. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It'd be fun to make them with found feathers sometime.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
satisfying.
Yeah, I have fantasies of doing that with Max, but have not got around to it. Okay, Paiviki, how are you gonna what's your approach to trying to understand this sash, this beautiful piece of
Well, I remember we did some experimenting, right?
Yep.
Maybe Mirren, when you you wrapped it around your chest and tucked it, and did you stand in the water? I'm trying to remember.
I think you guys
I
had
think
a
so.
bowl of water
Oh, a bowl of water.
and and there was some experimentation with flame.
Yeah.
Um
And I
Right.
couldn't feel the flame
couldn't
if
feel the
I.
flame.
And you said you could stare into the sun without.
That's right.
Um,
Right. The was staring in the sun did not cause blindness or didn't affect her vision at all.
and you said something about the water being the same as our blood, and the fire being the same as. Should have read all my notes real carefully. Something.
Yeah, I remember Mirren had the sort of realization or feeling that the water and her blood was the same, like came from the
Right.
same, are the same, and then fire part.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what the feeling was about the fire part.
The fire from the candle is the same as the sun.
Oh, yeah,
Is
okay.
something I wrote down. Okay. So, and it's got decorations with fire and water on it.
Yep. It's like it's a kind of like intricate embroidery that no, you never seen. It's like in your town, like it's
Yeah.
extraordinary.
Maybe I think that what she would do is maybe recruit Marin if you're not busy to like watch her in case something happens.
So like yeah, like to back just soup
You know,
have your
any
back.
any demons come running through the portal, you can backstab them or something. But I think she would go down to the creek and try. I think she would wrap it like over around her shoulders and her head, kind of like a shawl.
Yep.
You said it was really long, so she would
Yep.
just kind of keep on wrapping it, and then sort of like a cloak, and then tuck it.
Okay.
And then see if she can notice anything in perception wise about the water. She'll go and stand in the water and
Are
see if
you
she
down
can.
at the little river or at the little stream that runs? There's a to the south. There's a stream that runs into the little river, or you could be right down at the river itself.
I think she would go down to the confluence of the two.
Okay.
Just in case, but she would go to the little creek first of all, and just kind of wade into the creek. And just see if she can perceive anything differently while wearing that, or not.
Okay. So yeah, and so is your goal here so we can make a find answers roll
Sure.
for that, and your goal would be to understand if it alters your perception or in what way it does that, or how would you describe your
Yeah, I mean that was the first step she was thinking, but then she was going to potentially see if she had any observations about if she could see her own blood.
Okay,
Um,
okay, great.
I mean, after doing that and practicing and working on that sort of straw person and figuring out how to knit people's muscles and bones back together, she's really curious if the water and the blood are one, what wearing this would potentially be able to uh, do for her
Mm,
if she could see the blood inside of your body or understand it in some other way.
mm-hmm. Great. Yeah.
Um, and
Well,
then and then she might potentially try doing a spell if it would help her, only if it would help her like learn about what's possible.
ooh,
Um,
I think being able to knowing or having some sense of the weave of force is kind of in this case your prerequisite to try to understand this thing.
yeah.
Maybe there's a way you can imagine that spell could be used to figure something out, and I'm happy to hear that. Um, so I think the first thing you'll be doing is finding answers,
Okay.
and it would either be with wisdom or intelligence.
I guess I'll use my intelligence since I'm
Okay.
I'm not that wise.
So this is like a careful. This is like studying. You're like paying close attention. You're like,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
looking at the world, observing, seeing any insights come about. So she got 8 plus 2, so 10.
okay, yeah. So I think what happens is you got it wrapped around and kind of draped over your head, and it's just you and Weirin down there at the brook. And you walk in and kind of holding the cloth, kind of a little bit in your arms, and you're kind of like totally tuned in, paying attention. And when you look down, you get a sense of you've at this point you're familiar with occasionally glimpsing the weave just in day-to-day life, right? Like before a leaf falls from the tree, there's like maybe a little ripple, and then as the leaf falls, you can sort of trace its fall through the air. Occasionally in your life, since you've kind of tuned into this stuff, you're able to pick up these little glimpses. And so before you even step into the water, you see the weave of the stream, right? You see this faint tracery sort of showing the flow of the water, not visible to the naked eye. And the other thing you're aware of is that the same thing is happening with the sun. Now, when you turn and look at the sun, it does create that blind spot. It is hard for you to look at the sun, so you don't have the ease that Muir did. But what you, but there are moments where um, there are sort of these flashes of reddish lines that you understand are rays from the sun. And so for you, it's not this like kind of deep intuitive sense of connection to these forces, but for you, it's this like, these are the lines of water, and this is the line of the sun's light. And I think the intellectual realization is, as Muirin said, that the fire in the sun may be the same as the candle flame, but not only that, but that is the source of heat that is traveling to us. And like these lines that you're seeing are signs of that, right? The same way that a shaft of light comes through a window, only you're seeing it's like this kind of fading tracery of straight lines from that distant flame. Um, and you also realize that your movement through the world, the way that you move through the world as a Paiviki, is different from Weirin, and in fact, so different that um, you cannot make use of this thing. It's out of your um, like who you are as a person is preventing this connection that that Mirren was able to, um, and you feel that very clearly as the lines of force of the fabric draped across your body, and you're concentrating on this whole thing, blood and water and all that, and like, yeah, there's a moment where you can actually see your own all the way out to the capillaries. You know, you get little glimpses. Um, but when you look at the sun, you get a blind spot. Um, you feel the warmth of the sun, and when Weirin put on the thing, Weirin didn't even feel the warmth of the sun, like couldn't even
Yeah.
feel that heat. So there's some kind of fundamental difference between
Yeah.
your experiences that way. But you did roll a 10 or higher. I mean, yeah. So you can ask any follow up questions you want about the nature of this thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would want to know, understanding that it doesn't really work for Piviki. Um, what what about Mirren makes it work for her? Is it her elvish nature, her wisdom, um, or just something else?
Wait, remind me of Paiviki's alignment.
She's become neutral. She
Okay,
was
that's what I
chaotic.
thought. That's what I thought. Yeah. Um, yeah, so it's that aspect. It's how Muirin moves through the world and connects with people. There's something about that and then Paiviki, of course, connects with lots of people and is very charismatic, and people are very attached to Paiviki. But like, Paiviki also enjoys the attention, and maybe it's not as much of a kind of empathetic, kind of outward reaching as it might be for Muirin. So there's some kind of aspect of
Okay.
your way of living that is
Yeah. And then I guess the other question would be, and I don't know if she can figure this out with the financier's role, but um, what could it do? What is the forces in it that would be useful
well, the thing that that
to Mirren?
you have a sense of what that might be, and you'd have to give the cloth over to Mirren and test it out that way.
Yeah. So I unwrap it and I say, the cloth does not like me so much as it likes you. Um, would you try it on again?
I'll wrap it around.
And now when you look at Mirren, still kind of in this kind of attuned state, you see that when those lines from the sun come down, you know, with you they were kind of going through the fabric, and now when you look at Mirren, you see that they, when they strike the fabric, they kind of fall off of it like water. So those rays from the sun can't get through the fabric. And in fact, any other part of Mirren's body. So it's not just the part that's covered by the fabric. So then Paiviki, being very smart, extrapolates that if Mirren couldn't feel the candle flame, then perhaps even greater flames Mirren would not be able to feel.
Right.
And on the water side of it, you do remember that before in the experiment, when Mirren held the bowl of water, there was like a shimmering that passed across it, and so you're next to this brook, and you think that there must be some effect that Mirren has on water that that you could test out here.
Yeah. So I tell her what I saw with the flame, or with the sun, and that my guess is that fire beyond the candle would be unable to harm you while wearing that cloth. But we still don't know what the water aspect is. Do you want to try some things with the water?
Yes. Um, with my blood. Um, let's see. I
Can you just walk into the
should I
store?
drink? Oh,
Oh,
okay.
interesting. Can you drink?
Um, sure. I wonder if I feel different if I am drinking while wearing this.
So you want to take a
Yeah.
hand, yeah. Um, so when you reach down to the water, and of course Paiviki is kind of observing very closely, Paiviki, you see that when Mirren's hand touches the water, these lines that you've seen, they kind of evaporate around where she touches the water.
Oh,
There's just like this, they disappear. And so Mirren scoops up the water and drinks it. And Mirren, it tastes way cleaner than this brook usually tastes. You guys are above the more
Like,
marshy area, but it's still kind of a
right.
silty brook. But when you taste it, it's like almost sweet.
Mm. So does it feel like extra hydrating too? Like,
nutritious.
or is it more like heavenly type of cleaner?
It is. I'm trying to think if Mirren has any. Yeah, it just tastes like it's as if you got it from the source of the spring.
Mm.
Mirren, it seems like you may have a calming effect on the water. Will you come with me down to the river?
So you guys
I'll
go down to
follow.
where the stream empties into the river.
Yeah, and let's just wade in. Like, I would walk into the river, in a place where that's, it's not going to wash me away, but where the
Yeah.
current is clearly strong.
Yeah.
And have Mirren come too.
To where the current is clearly strong. Got it. Okay, great. So you do that, and so Mirren's got you guys both have your pants rolled up or whatever, and Mirren's got the cloth draped around her, and I guess it's around midday now, and you walk out into like a knee deep part where the current's pretty strong, and nothing seems to be strange about it. It seems pretty normal. But as you're watching and tuning in to the force, you do see the same thing happening where the lines hit Mirror, and the water, as it looks, the force is still there. It flows around her legs just like it would in any situation, but the lines kind of sort of fade and disappear right when they would strike her or would
Yeah.
flow around her.
And I say, is the water not pushing you?
She can feel the force of the water. Yeah, so it's not just the lines aren't just force, you realize the lines also represent other aspects of it.
Could I but I'm still getting wet, right?
Yep.
Like, yeah. So, and is it flowing down like down? If the river's flowing, could I try like? Can I see the lines that
No.
evaporate, or is that only okay?
I mean, and Paviki might be describing them to you.
Yeah, I'm describing kind of what I'm seeing. I'm like kind of down at like scrutinizing, looking at you some kind of weird way.
Okay, so I guess if you're doing that, then I'm going to say, you do a little experiment with the current, and then you start to head back, and you're like this whole time kind of scrutinizing. And when you guys get back to the shore, this is an area of the water where a lot of the silt is kicked up, and the water's kind of almost like a beige color because of how much stuff there is in the water, and where Muirin walks, that silty beige stuff just like clears out. like all the particulate matter in the water moves away, so that Mirren is
Ah.
walking in just like crystal clear water.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Okay.
Maybe it's almost like a repel. It's like it's repelling, or is it attracting the water?
Well, it sounds like it's purifying the water.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it would work on poison.
I wonder. Yeah. I mean,
With all of your
I
knowledge, perhaps this is something you can use.
I think that's a good observation. And I guess what could do is take can I say that I'm carrying some empty vials
Sure, yeah, of course.
and then just just fill up like maybe I'll fill up 3 with this extra purified water, and
The
maybe
stuff that's
I'll
just around
save it.
the stuff that's right at your feet right now, just dip up some of that. Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. You
Hmm.
got it.
I wonder what would happen. Maybe you cannot be poisoned while wearing this.
I wish you could taste the water that I'm taste what it tastes like.
Can I drink some of that? I would take some of that and
Oh
and
yeah, you
does it seem different to me?
Yeah, it's like
All right.
straight from the spring, like clear, sweet, yeah, beautiful.
We're going into business, Mirren. I'm gonna heal their bodies, and you can purify their blood.
On your wellness center.
Maybe we've messed around long enough for now. We can figure out more with this thing.
Yeah, so I think Itzy's
Sure.
probably all packed up.
And I like wearing it, so I'll just keep wearing it.
Oh, really? Just around?
Yeah,
Wow, that's gonna definitely turn some heads when you get into town. Just because Mirren is usually
because
so.
it's gold, right?
Well, it's red. It's the fabric is
Oh,
red,
it's red.
and the
Red.
embroidery is gold. Yeah. So that's like a very striking. That's awesome.
Getting fancy.
Very fancy.
Yeah. So all the packing's happened. Oh, John, I need you
Yeah.
to roll for to see how things turn out with Annika and her dad.
Okay. I did not talk to Annika's dad.
Yeah, I know. She had to go do it on her own.
Okay.
So I just need you to roll to see what happened there, and that's just 2d6 with no modifier.
You're looking at a 4, Jason.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're sort of just, you're like tightening a strap on Itzy, and you look up across the way, and Annika's standing there kind of looking at you, and you can just tell from her body language that she's decided that maybe it was like, maybe her dad was intimidated, maybe she feels bad for her dad, maybe she's too loyal to family, but she's decided that she needs to stay.
No, I go over to her and I nod. It's okay. It's okay. I'll be back. You know that I can take it. If what we find in the north is what we found in the south, then it's not going to kill me. At first I thought that your father was trying to control you, or he just wanted the help, he just wanted the labor. When I realized that he was doing it because he was afraid of you, I knew then that you should stay.
I want to be out there with you. I don't want to be here, but he's yeah. I wish my sister could just take care of him, but she's never been good at that. I mean, I haven't either, but we're all he has right now. And
I give her 2 gifts. One is the half a bar of soap that I got. And that's more of like an inside joke gift.
Great, awesome. That's so
We
great.
often would talk about that when we were disparaging upon the Colkeen, talking about like how they're such a dirt upon these lands, and how ironic it is that they carry this soap, and yet they can be so filthy and beast-like. And then I also give her the small glazed clay jar with the special oil. And I tell her that I forget where do we find those? Cave of the Beast, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
This is what started everything, was going to that cave. This special oil, it's meant to imbue weapons with power. That's Paiviki stuff that I don't understand, but all I know is that it somehow makes your weapons more effective against the Colkeen. If they should return, I want you to have this. I want you to be safe.
So she's laughing a little at the soap, and then she's sort of stoic while you sort of say that, and then she's like holding back tears, but she's good at that, so she doesn't actually let anything fall. And then she
hands on the shoulder, in pat, hands on the shoulder,
nice
squeeze, and then I go and I take a couple steps, and then I look back, and then I take a couple more steps.
Oh, yeah. And then she walks off towards her family's house. Yeah. A little of that. So it's the 3 of you and Tapias. Unless you wanted to recruit somebody else. So Paiviki, Varpu really is serious about learning magic from you. So if you want to, I think you have this sense that like, maybe around town, you're like, you see her head above all the people around her, from occasionally, and manage to like avoid her. And you kind of have this sense that like, either you have to like deal with that somehow, or you need to leave town without her noticing you go. And who knows how she will feel about that. But
oh man.
I mean, she's actually kind of looking for you. Like when she saw Tapias and Taimi packing up the animal, she's like, have you seen Paiviki? And they're like, and like when you come back from the brook, like you see that interaction, and you're down by the tree, and then she leaves, and then so that's a kind of outstanding issue.
What should I tell her? I asked the other two. Not your problem, I know.
I mean, she's a powerful fighter. I mean, I guess the first question is, would you teach her magic?
I would, but I can't right now.
Well, if you can't right now, then that will be a hard truth for her to hear, but it would be the truth.
That's true. So yeah, Paiviki goes to Varpu. And she shows Varpu the books that she got from the cave of the beast.
Uh-huh.
And she says, I know you don't care much for words, but I've been reading these and learning what they have inside of them, but it's taken me some weeks to figure it out.
So are you kind of like offering them to her as a
No. um, it may take me some more time, but then once I find out what's in them, will you be ready?
You have to read?
It,
You have to read words to do the things you do?
well, for some people, they when they need to remember uh, how the magic works, they write these things down. And so I've found some things that I did not know before inside these books. Um, things that others have known before me, and I'm learning them. And um, can I think Paiviki is trying to recall her first lesson with
Locke. Yeah.
And the sort of sitting down and the tuning into the forces of the world, and the sort of emptying her mind. And she talks to her about that, and she says, do you think you can do that?
That sounds awful. What do you mean? I saw you raise a finger and draw the bolts out of crossbows. How was sitting still? How did that help?
The only way to move things in the world with the force, a wave of a finger, is to be able to first see the lines and learn how to move them. But to see them, you have to sit very still and empty your mind until you can hear the sounds and see the forces.
And you say the words come in. If I the words come in, they help you remember these things.
Well, that's the next step for me, but not the first step for you.
So the first step is sitting still, and the next step is reading books.
It could be. You don't have to read books. But I'm trying to remember that lesson that Locke had with her, where she had her have that little bird in her hand.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. That was one of her sort of
yeah.
tests that she had to do. Was there was some sort of local bird, that some elusive sparrow or something like that.
And like you had to be still and quiet enough where it would come and just land in your hand. Yeah. Right.
So she says, if you can listen to the wind and hear what the wind is saying to you, and call to the birds and have one land in your hand. That is the first step. Will you work on that?
No. This is not the way for me. I was wrong. I did not know that it took these things. I can split a stump with an axe or a man's head with my sword. I can't wait for a bird to come or sit still for more than 5 minutes. This is not the way for me.
I understand. We have a task that we do need help with. This is something that none of us have any experience with.
What?
The working of metal. You said that you had some skill with this.
Yes.
Mirren and Taimi were hoping to make iron tips for their arrows, but none of us have this knowledge.
Mm.
Do you or our new friends from the Corkine do
Yes.
any?
Once we get the metal out of the ground, the merchants at market can bring us supplies from Hukunut, and we can get a smithy going.
Yeah, I think these would all be things that would help the village, and everyone would be indebted to you.
I think you have to negotiate with Varpu to get her to commit to that.
Oh, okay.
And you got your charisma.
I got my charisma, and I rolled 13.
It is amazing the things that you can get me to do, sister. This is not the life that I thought I would have when you found me in that cave. I did not think that I could be content in a place like this, but maybe one day I will. And by the time you return, we will have a forge.
This is good, and there may be a time soon when we will need to use the things that you make to fight again. And she gives her like some kind of a arm locking,
A forearm grasp,
or
clasp.
the forearm grasp of the warrior.
Yeah, classic.
The respectful warrior grasp.
Will you roll to keep company? See if you got a bond.
That's nothing.
Yeah, because you don't have any with her yet.
I got a 10.
Okay. Do you want? You can have. You each get a bond with each other.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
I believe all settlement business has been settled.
That's actually a huge weight off of my mind for the last few weeks. I'm like, damn it, Varpu.
All right. Great. So is the plan to head straight for the mountain? See what you see along the way? Oh, is that the kitty?
Yeah,
Pippin.
it's Pippin. Pippin, what do you want? You just had dinner, didn't you?
Mirren, is this the best way to go use the dead reckoning of the mountain?
Um, it, I mean, Miriam can certainly do like a quick scout and then see where to start, or we can get. She would just be going on intuition that it's fine. Um,
Yeah, I guess the question is like, what's the goal for the? I mean, it's just to kind of like pass through Watcher's Climb and see what you can see, just to get a sense of what's out there, and then maybe if anything of interest pops up, you might pursue that. It sounds like you guys don't want to do like a thorough exploration, right? It's my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, especially if there's no rumors that kind of corroborate the idea that there might be like villages in there, then I think maybe just a straight through the climb to the mountain, and then reevaluate from there, see if we feel the need to go up the mountain, or whether we can just kind of like take a postcard and keep going.
Maybe we could just find a good route, do some exploring, but also just see if there's a good path right through the middle some way.
Of Watcher's Climb.
Yeah, we just don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
If there's a nice route or maybe a good vantage. Looks like there's this kind of tallish plateau. We could aim for that to start off with and see what we could see from that. Right in the middle, there's that dark mountain sticking up.
Like that?
Yeah, right there. And see from there, we could probably see down into the valleys and might learn something.
Okay, so would this be your first leg to get to that? To get to that bigger hill there?
Does that sound like a good plan?
Good.
So with the pack animal over forested and hilly terrain, trying to think, it took you half a day to get to the base. I think this is a 1 day's journey to get to that barring any trouble on the way.
Wow.
So why don't we have Muirin roll to set out? Unless are we all covered for final preparations?
Yep. Okay. Rations, got the whole shebang.
Awesome.
Is there space on Itsy, thank you. For a spear and a shield, that would add 4 weight. Maybe I should just leave them.
The shield is 1 weight, right?
No, it's 2 because it's a real full-size shield.
Oh, is this separate from the Topias shield?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm just gonna leave it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go light. I'm making a break.
Wow.
I'm only a part-time warrior now.
And are you guys trying to slip out of town without any fuss? Like not sneaking, but not like announcing your exit?
That would be Taimi's goal, just because she's, still feeling upset and, complicated about Annika staying, that she just doesn't want to draw any more attention, doesn't want to mark this occasion with any fanfare.
Okay, then the best thing to do would be like doing it before the next dawn, probably.
So Taimi would suggest that, but of course, we're
that's fine.
That cool with you, Muirin?
Yeah.
Slip out before dawn's light. Okay. Great. Then that's when it happens. That's when the last stars are just starting to fade from the eastern sky, and I should say the first stars to fade are fading from the eastern sky as it starts to lighten, and you have crossed the Vorikarma River and set out into the trees of Watcher's Climb. So, oh yeah, and now this is the part where so we can see Itzy with the packs on the back. It's a cold morning. And then would you each briefly describe, what it looks like, what you look like as we sort of watch you cross the river and go into the woods, starting with, I guess Muirin is usually the scout. So Muirin, how you geared up?
Well, she for leaving, she's taking off the sun thing and is wearing her hooded cloak that's brown. She carries a spear and a shield, but is also wearing a longbow around her. Like, does she have like some kind of harness for the bow?
The bow you can sling over your shoulder, and then you'd have
Okay.
a quiver. Quiver would either be like, I guess if you're wearing a cloak, your quiver would probably be at your belt, sort of side slung. So you're pretty geared up then, right? You got the spear and the shield. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. So in case Paviki decides she actually needs that spear and shield, happy to share. Yeah. So those are the big pieces on her. She carries a shoulder pack. She's got like a belt of sort of easy access, like vials for her like water and poisons and throwing knives. And yeah, she has pointy ears. Hair sort of I liked the way that Jan had drawn her hair, like sort of shortish black. And then she still got Kosti's shoes on.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. She still got those shoes on, those sweet Kosti of Reuna. Awesome.
Her eyes are shiny, I guess because she has the kind of almost cat-like vision.
Oh yeah. A little bit of that reflective, especially in the before the morning's light there. Great. Taimi.
Taimi has on her fur-lined cape. Now that she has the chainmail, she isn't using the same armor, and so she moved the book hide things that she made to the outside of the cape. So she's got like two kind of like shoulder patty covering things. With the spine of the book, like in line with like where her arm would go.
Yeah.
She's wearing like a simple kind of gray brown shirt over the chainmail, but you can see like around her décolletage area. Décolletage?
Décolletage, yeah.
Décolletage. You can see like some of the rings of the shirt. She also has her longbow slung over her shoulder and the quiver at her hip. She has similar, like kind of tough gray-brown pants and whatever are like the common shoes of choice here. She's got her pack, and I think that's all. She's, I think she wears her braids. Recently she's been wearing her braids like into a bun. I think ever since the battle in the rain, they were just really sloshing all over the place. And so she kind of like pulls them up into a bun, and then she can also put up the hood and it's not getting all over the place. And she's got all of her piercings still in her ears.
Is that both ears or just one ear?
Both ears.
Okay. Great.
Listen, you don't roll up many piercings and just put in one ear. And
it's like all of her hair is braided, right? Like all the way to the right? Isn't it just like all like a series of like small braids that she can?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of. Yeah. And I don't ever think that they look pretty ratty. They're pretty ratty.
Yeah. Okay.
So I thought about cutting that off, but
Bun is a new look for season 3. That'll work.
yeah, but yeah, the bun is the new look. That's what I landed on instead. Yeah, and I think that's out. I've also envisioned her always having kind of like really powerful eyebrows.
Okay, got it. Powerful, like dramatic and
No, just thick.
thick eyebrows. Okay, got it.
Yeah, just nice big eyebrows.
Got it. Nice.
And I think that's it.
Okay. Is there a side like a hand weapon? Did you say that?
No, she has no. She
No?
has no hand weapon. Actually, I
Okay.
mean, a knife is 0 weight, so she has her trusty old hunting knife at her side.
Okay, cool.
Wait, she doesn't have a short sword
No,
anymore?
you're absolutely right. She has a short sword. I'm looking at my own. I just went totally drew a blank. Yeah, it's right there. Short sword.
I
Yeah,
thought you were choosing not to carry the short sword, but got it. You got it. Okay, cool.
I do.
Great. We're in. Were you wearing chainmail or not? Did you eschew the chainmail for the sake of moving a little more quietly?
No, she was not wearing it.
Okay, great. All right, Hibiki.
So, yeah, I think Paiviki is going to lose the spear and shield, but she is going to wear the chainmail,
Okay.
and this is my favorite drawing of her that I did a while ago, and this is just her kind of simple, kind of peasant garb, but
There we go.
yeah,
Nice.
I think that she would probably, being kind of vain, take the fancy shirt that she got. She stole from the law with the word giver down in Saltwall,
Oh yeah.
and I think I saw on her list here she got a pair of white trousers. I think she got that in the last haul. So I think she might actually wear both of those things.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if the shirt would fit over the chainmail, if it's big enough.
Yeah, I think it would have to go under.
It would have to go under.
If I'm picturing that, if my imagination of the size of that person versus Paiviki, I think that person was smaller.
Maybe she'll just save it in her pack so that she
Okay.
could put it on if she wanted to impress somebody.
Great.
Because she doesn't want to look too much like a word keeper.
Yeah.
So she'll probably have like a cloak for sleeping in and keeping the rain off to throw over
Cool.
her armor.
And no hand weapon?
No, she's got the jeweled short sword that she also stole.
Okay, cool.
And she's got, I think she would keep the hatchet around just as a backup weapon, and a knife. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
And her backpack is full of books, and
Oh, so you're bringing all the books?
I want to bring, well, not all of the books, but most of the ones in that weird language that she's been trying to learn, and the ones that she wants to try to. She's really, half of her brain is in the books, so that's what I was trying to do when she was in that meeting, like just to show that she's really focused on trying to read and learn these spells, and maybe read the other books and see what they're about, like the knowledge of whatever. So she'll be tripping over a lot of roots while trying to read and stuff.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, I have just one loot question.
Yeah.
She had from the very beginning writing a writing kit. I guess she got it from the sorcerer, maybe, and it got plastered with a strange yolk from the egg that broke while they were climbing the waterfall.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if any of it's still usable, and if she wanted to write stuff down.
I think I'm getting an echo. Is that who's? You guys hearing me an echo?
No.
Okay. I think the yolk. You could dry out the parchment, and it would be kind of coated with dried out egg yolk. But I think the pen and the ink, or the quill and the ink bottle are fine. So yeah, I think it's still usable.
Okay.
The paper is pretty stiff because of the egg yolk.
Okay.
You probably try to like rinse it off and dry it in the sun. So, but it's definitely still usable.
Okay.
And I think we have time for a set out roll before we call it a night, so we can see what lies on this first day's journey. And I will ask Muirin to make that roll as the person who's usually on point. It is 2d6 plus 1 because Watcher's Climb is a dangerous place.
Oh, so 6 plus 1 is 7.
Okay. And then, Donna, will you please roll a d12?
Yeah. That's 9.
And then another d12.
4.
Okay, so by the end of that, you guys actually make it. So it's a mix of fir and deciduous trees down near the water, and then it sort of gives way to mostly fir trees. And some of these trees are like 40, 50 feet tall. Some pretty good size fir trees. Lots of low brush and rocky soil. As I mentioned before, sort of numerous places where there's just like little rills, little clear streams coming down the hillsides. The further up you get on the slopes, the kind of rockier things get. Mostly you manage to stick to lower, easier to travel places. One of the goals being to see if you could find a like pretty easy to walk route. Occasionally you have to go up a rise, and whenever you do that, you get a look at the surrounding land. There's at one point Taimi spots on a distant hillside a herd of about, you got to estimate like 50 or 60 red deer, that sort of stand out in stark contrast against landscape, and they just kind of like flow across this hill and then disappear into a valley on the other side. Everybody is kind of excited and energized. Topias is like so psyched to be out of the village at last, and the first day pretty much passes without incident. It's a beautiful sunny day, but by the time you climb to the top of that to reach the top of that ridge that you were aiming for, Topias is completely wiped out. Like he has not, he basically sat on his ass for a long time. His recovery, there was some muscle atrophy during the period of time that he was recovering. So that the last slog up the hill to get to that crest, he's just like, he has to stop like every 5 minutes. He's super apologetic about it. He, sort of like pulls himself together and sort of soldiers on. And then by the time you get up to the top, he just like takes off his pack and collapses. He's completely zonked. And like falls asleep. He takes off his pack, falls on a rock, and then I don't know, you guys are chatting or whatever, and then you look over and he's just like totally wiped out. He probably didn't get much sleep the night before either.
Hope this is not a side effect of my magical healing.
It makes everybody really sleepy.
Permanent sleep.
I think he's just out of practice.
Oh, I had a weird question, a game question.
Yeah.
So from way back, I still have a lot of stats that are down. Do those ever recover on their own, or do you have to say, I'm going to spend a few days doing nothing?
You're supposed to spend a few days just resting. Yeah.
Okay.
How far down are you?
We're not too far. I mean, I'm down like a couple points in like 3 stats.
Yeah, unless you spent like a week resting in town, then they're still going to be down.
Okay.
But just you're about to spend the night here, so you'll get at least one back.
Okay. Yeah, just checking.
So it's time to make camp on top of this this ridge here. Yeah, so you guys basically travel like this, and then there was a big slog up that, and it is you made good time. It's basically sunset when you get up there. So and it's just as you were imagining. From that point, you get this really great expansive view of all the land that lies before you, and in the light of the fading sun, do you see this kind of white stripe on the hill coming down? Like it looks like snow possibly, and the sunset sort of catches it. There's like it turns into this kind of bright orange kind of crisp line against the side of the mountain there. And the whole the shadows grow longer and the place starts to darken as you guys get your camp set up. Are you going to make a fire tonight? Yes, John.
Does Rayuna get snow?
Yes.
Okay.
Winter is like you don't really go anywhere in winter.
Okay.
You sort of put food by and hope for a good harvest, and people basically hunker down for winter. I mean, there's like ice fishing and stuff, but it's a season where people just kind of like stay put for the most part.
Yeah. Well, what do we know about these crabs? Like, do we know enough to know not to light a fire? Because I'm pro fire.
I'm fine with fire.
Yeah, the general feeling is that the crabs will stay away.
Okay.
Yeah, the trade-off with the fire is intelligent versus unintelligent. So like a fire generally will keep a wildlife at bay, and the crabs, as far as you know, are they're not like crafty sentient creatures. I mean, they're sentient, I guess, but not super smart as far as that goes. But a fire would attract the attention of anybody who understood what a fire meant, right? That there would be hapless campers by that fire. Yeah, and you have no reason to believe that there's like people out to get you out here. So it would make sense that Timey would want to make a fire. So with a fire, you get +1 to pass the night. Does anyone want to keep company before bed?
Can I do it?
Yeah.
I noticed, Marion was paying attention to this Taimi's, saying goodbye, and so she wants to just, I guess, say, see if Taimi is open to accepting just like a comforting words or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that she was eating whatever rations are, hardtack or jerky or something, kind of just like looking out at the mountain in the distance, and then when you saddle up and kind of ask her about Annika, I guess I couldn't fool you, huh? I bet Paiviki sees it too. I wish she was here, but I understand her choice. I was mad, but I always get mad. When she said it was her father was just worried about her safety, I couldn't do it. I'd feel guilty. What are your parents like, Weirin?
Um, they um they're they would be, I would consider them similar to Annika's parents, where family is very important to them, and taking, responsibility for each other is important. But as you know, I have decided myself to find a different path than to stay with my group of people. So in some ways, I feel sympathetic, but knowing that what other people want for you is not the same thing as what you want for yourself. And I think you know, I guess what I would say is I feel like it was sad that it seems like both of you had, or you at least had someone to that you would be saying goodbye to as you like make your own way. And I just feel grateful because the people that I would like to be on the adventure with are coming with me. And so it's bittersweet in that way. Not saying goodbye to someone that because you get to be with them.
Taimi's eyes glisten. I'm happy that you two are with me too. I didn't know if I'd ever have this again. Feeling like you belong. And she gives you just like a nice like back, a back thing, if that's okay.
A back thing.
And just nods.
Oh. Do you guys have any bonds with each other?
We must. How can the team not?
Do we have to roll though? Actually,
I think for that exchange,
I do have one.
That exchange right there, I don't think you have to roll for that. I think you each get a bond with the other person.
Yeah. Is there a maximum? I have 2.
3. You have a maximum of 3.
You have a maximum of 3 per person?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Found family. All right. How about Paiviki, Jan? Will you roll to pass the night?
Okay.
Everybody mark off a ration. I guess John's in charge of rations. That's 4. Wait, Topias, well, I guess he'll eat breakfast in the morning.
Topias, I was going to say, Topias has his own rations.
Oh, he does? Okay, great.
Yeah. Does that, and I can take care of Topias's rations. Does everybody have separate rations, or are we using a shared ration pool on the beast?
I have, 1 week's worth of rations written down here, but
yeah. I guess if it comes to it where we're like, oh, we want to go into this cave and be able to pull out more treasure, then we can just throw our stakes on Itzy.
Okay, so everybody's marking their rations, and then Jan rolled 2d6 plus 1.
I rolled a 7 plus 1 is 8.
Everyone gets restful sleep. Those who ate and drank the night before each choose 1 benefit. In the morning, you can heal 1 plus your con modifier with a minimum of 1 total. So if you have a negative con modifier, you'd still get 1 point back of hit points and/or ability points, except for luck. Or you can take +1 forward because you awake refreshed and ready to face the new day.
I'm gonna take that. No, I'm gonna take the hit point.
Are you down still?
Yeah, I used all those healing downtime activities I used to restore my stats,
Oh, and not your hit points. Got it.
not my hit points.
Oh, that's right. God, you were run ragged, Taimi.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, what were we rolling? Or is it only Taimi rolling?
Only Paiviki rolled to pass the night, and everybody got good rest. So you can heal up or take +1 forward to the first roll of the next day.
Oh, and if you heal up, it's a D6?
Nope. It's do you have a con modifier?
1.
Yeah, so you can heal 2 points.
Oh, I see.
Hit points and or ability points. So track that.
Awesome.
A new day begins in Watcher's Climb, and we'll wrap up. There's some serious. That was season 3. The writers got better in season 3. There's some serious character moments there. That was great.
I can't believe Hanukkah had to.
Yeah,
I didn't know how that was going to go.
that was tough.
And by the way, do you remember how at the end of last session you rolled an event that would happen at the end of the week?
Oh no.
That was the event. That was the event.
The dice.
Yeah, the dice did it.
The dice will roll.
Solving a problem. Okay, so not a whole lot of XP, obviously, because this was mostly like a social town thing. But no fighters solved any problems with physical prowess, right? No stealth or trickery. So I don't think there's any class XP. Traits. Paiviki, you are. What are you now? Bold and boastful.
And bold. Double B.
Okay. I think you were bold when you took on Varpu head on. Right? You could have like.
Could have dodged it.
I was actually genuinely like, Varpu, like that was exactly the right argument to make. I was all set for Varpu to be like, teach me magic, but you're just like totally made it the most unappealing possible prospect. So you get a point for that. You are currently, am I right that you're focused, respectful, and ruthless?
Correct. I was respectful.
Yeah. Yeah, you were attentive to Taimi's feelings.
Oh yeah, great. Take an XP for that. Taimi, you are curious and irritable currently, or have you changed any of those?
No, curious, irritable, and resentful.
Wait, doesn't that? Oh, that makes you chaotic, right?
Yeah. I took 2 negatives just so I could be chaotic. I mean, like the reason I was okay ultimately with Annika leaving is because that's what I wanted. That's what Taimi wanted, was like a father who like cared about her. And so like the argument I'm going to make is that it's resentment towards Taimi's father.
Got it. Yeah.
There?
Great. Good argument.
Okay.
Yes, love it.
Ding.
So alignments, we got a neutral person, a lawful person, and a chaotic person. Neutral is advance yourself or maintain a balance. You didn't really do anything.
I don't know if I really did anything super noteworthy.
Yeah.
Did some exploring magical things and yeah.
Yeah. Muirin, you are lawful, maintain order in the face of something. I mean, no, wasn't really an opportunity, right?
I don't think so.
Maintain order. And then chaotic is disrupt order, cause chaos. Didn't really do that, right? Make an exciting discovery. You guys figured out basically what that sash does, so everybody gets XP for that. Overcome a difficult obstacle. I'm gonna say talking your way out of Varpu. That was a difficult obstacle. Everybody gets XP for that.
All right.
And acquiring memorable booty, nothing new, I don't think.
No.
Unless you count the new saddlebags.
Right.
Not particularly memorable. All right. Is everybody still level 6? Where are we at?
I just leveled up. I just got past the 105 XP mark.
No.
Yeah, so that makes me level 6 now.
Oh, you were 5 before. Okay.
I was 5, yeah. So what does that entail? I'll do that off.
It's not hard to
You get an advanced move.
yeah, you're just reached an even number level, right? So first thing you do is increase your level by 1 on the front of your playbook. You can regain luck equal to your new level, so you get 6 luck back.
Done. Oh, I'm so fucking lucky.
Oh my god, that's right. How lucky?
17.
17.
You
if
gain
your new
luck
level is
equal to your.
even, you get a new advanced move.
Yeah.
That's it. So you
How
just
about no HP?
nope, that's only at odd number levels.
Oh, I already know what I'm going to take, even though I don't have my playbook in front of me.
Ooh,
I'm going to take a favored weapon, a longbow.
oh, nice. Yeah.
Sorry, Jason, what was the luck replenishing?
If you
move?
level up, you
Yeah.
get luck back equal to your new level.
Hmm.
Did you go up too?
I did a while ago.
Oh, well, how much? What is your luck down?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if I spent it all or
No, because I think,
probably not, right? I probably didn't give myself the luck then.
yeah, I mean, I think you leveled up last adventure.
Yeah, it was before we did all that downtime stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead and restore it to maximum. I'm not going to be a stickler on that, but okay.
I'm already at almost 6.5.
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm 6 is level 7 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sets of 5. I'm at 3 sets of 5 filled in already.
Okay,
So.
okay. Wow, man. Play into those traits.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Stop share. Move pan. Okay. That's it. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Yay.
Jason.
It felt really good to be back in the saddle.
Yeah, my God, it's been a while. Too
Mm.
long. Well, all things, let's cross our fingers that next Thursday will be a normal day for all, and then we'll be able to do this
It's
again.
far away.
No.
Yeah. Big yes. All right. Love you guys.
Yeah, me too.
I love
So
y'all.
then, good night.